Hello everybody, and welcome to the Marvel A to Z series here on the Rich's Realm channel. In this series, we'll be looking at the characters throughout the Marvel Universe, looking into their powers, story history, allies, and enemies. There'll be some big names you've heard of, and some you may not, as well as some weird and wonderful creations throughout Marvel's history. I'm going to start off with a shout out to Insight for their comments on last week's video. And now let's get right into it with this week's episode, the letter W. As a Magia engineer, Mark Scarlotti developed his own super weapons, calling himself Whiplash, and he battled Iron Man to a draw. As Mark Scott, he worked undercover for Stark International. Later, Justin Hammer hired Scarlotti, and he upgraded his arsenal of weapons and changed his name to Backlash. For a time, he gave up on crime, but he later returned as Whiplash, but was killed by Iron Man's sentient armour. Leanne Foreman, a mutant with adamantium wires snapping from her gloves, became the second Whiplash. She worked with the Band of Baddies, the Femme Fatales, and the Femizons. Later, Russian scientist Anton Vanko's village was attacked by a killer in a stolen Iron Man suit. Vanko captured the suit's chest plate and used it in reverse to engineer his own suit of armour, complete with energy whips. He later hunted down Tony Stark to exact his revenge. Upon discovering Stark had been framed, Vanko turned his rage on Russian Prime Minister instead. He later joined the Shadow Council's Masters of Evil. Warlock is an alien of the Technarchy, a race of techno-organic creatures from the planet Kvitch that survive by infecting living matter with a transmode virus that transforms them into a similar material which can be absorbed. The ruler of the Technarchy is Magnus, the father of Warlock. As a mutant of his race, Warlock did not want to battle his father to the death, as was the way with his people. Instead, he fled to Earth, where he became a member of the New Mutants. Later, Cameron Hodge killed Warlock in an attempt to steal his powers, and his ashes were scattered over his friend Cypher's grave. A group of mutant haters who wished to become living sentinels injected themselves with the transmode virus taken from Warlock's ashes. They called themselves the Phalanx, and one of their members was Douglock, a revived Warlock given Cypher's memories. Warlock eventually regained his own memories and resumed his original form. On a trip back to his home planet, he helped defeat Ultron and the Phalanx in the second wave of the Annihilation. Upon returning to Earth, he found Cypher resurrected by the transmode virus employed by Selene. But after freeing him from her influence, they both rejoined the New Mutants. And now it's that time where we look at a weird and wonderful creation from the Marvel Universe, and today, it's White Rabbit. As a young girl, Lorena Dodson sought to escape from her suffocating sheltered life through the Lewis Carroll novel Alice in Wonderland. She later married, and then killed her husband and inherited his wealth. Obsessed with the Lewis Carroll novel, Lorena turned to crime, adopting the name and persona of the White Rabbit, and used her wealth to buy zany weaponry. Her poor judgment in partners has led to her crazy plans being foiled by a succession of heroes such as Spider-Man, Spider-Woman and Wolverine. However, she was shot on her last hapless escapade and is presumed to be dead. So that wraps up this video. Please hit that like button, and if you're not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to drop me a comment of your favourite character starting with the letter W, and you might get a shout out in the next video.